Welcome back, friends. Let us restart with our chapter 6, that is life processes. The topics which we have already covered are digestion in plants, animals, and humans, respiration in plants, animals, and humans. For all our previous videos, please see the link in the description given below. Topics to be covered today are introduction to transport in plants and humans, transport in humans in detail, which includes human circulatory system, which we'll see in detail, and human lymphatic system, which we'll see in just an intro, and importance of double circulation. Let us start with the basic, that is, what do you mean by transport? So it is a life process in which a substance absorbed or made in one part of the body of an organism is carried to other parts of the body. As we can see in this animation, transport in plants, in roots, water is going outside and sugar is coming inside. We'll see this process in detail later on, probably in the next video. In the next animation, we can see red blood corpuscles are moving, which helps in transport of various substances from one place to other. Let us see in detail transport in humans. The main transport system in human being is blood circulatory system. This circulatory system consists of blood for transport of various substances throughout the body, heart, organ which pumps and receives blood, blood vessels through which blood flows in the body. They are arteries, veins, and capillaries. The second transport system is lymphatic system. The liquid which circulates and carries materials in lymphatic system is called lymph. This we'll study in detail in the next video. Now, let us focus on blood circulatory system and its components, that is blood, heart, and blood vessels and capillaries. First of all, blood. It is a fluid connective tissue. The main components of blood are, as you have already studied in standard 9th, blood plasma and blood corpuscles. Blood plasma is a colorless fluid which contains proteins, hormones, salts, etc. Blood corpuscles are divided into three: red blood corpuscles, white blood corpuscles, and platelets. RBC, they carry respiratory gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide, contains hemoglobin, impart a red color to the blood. Blood platelets helps in blood clotting process. White blood corpuscles provides body defense by engulfing the germs and producing antibodies. Heart, roughly triangular in shape, size is same as clenched fist, made up of cardiac muscles. Heart has 4 chambers or compartment. The upper 2 are called atria and the lower 2 are called ventricles, as you can see in the diagram. This is how atrium and ventricles contract and relax. The 2 atria receives blood from the 2 main veins, that is vena cava and pulmonary veins. The 2 ventricles transport blood to the entire body and lungs through 2 main arteries, namely aorta and pulmonary artery. The left atrium is connected to the left ventricle through valve V1. The right atrium is connected to the right ventricle through valve V2. You can observe the diagram for valves V1 and V2. So, there might be a question: what is the importance of these valves? Valves prevent the backflow of blood into atria when the ventricles contract to pump blood out of the heart. Now, what are blood vessels? These are the tubes or a kind of pipes through which blood flows in the body. They are of three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Let us start with arteries. Arteries are thick-walled blood vessels which carry blood from the heart to all the parts of the body. They are found in whole of the body. Remember, carry blood from heart to all parts. There might be a question as to why arteries are thick-walled. Arteries have to carry the blood from heart, which is under very high pressure. So, thick wall prevents bursting even if they are under pressure. Next, capillaries. The capillaries are thin-walled and extremely narrow tubes or blood vessels which connect arteries to veins. As you can see in the diagram, an artery further divides into arteriole or smaller arteries, which further divides into capillaries, which rejoins to form venules and then finally form a vein. As the capillaries are very thin and narrow, they can directly help in exchange of various materials like oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. between blood and body cells. Veins. Veins are the thin-walled blood vessels which carry blood from all the parts of the body back to heart. So blood from all the parts of the body to heart by veins. As they are not under any high pressure, they are thin-walled. Let us see difference between arteries and veins. Arteries carry blood away from heart to the body parts. Veins carry blood from the body parts back to the heart. Arteries carry oxygenated blood except for pulmonary artery. Veins carry deoxygenated blood except for pulmonary vein. Arteries have thick elastic muscular walls. Veins have thin non-elastic muscular walls. Valves are absent in arteries. Valves are present in veins. Let us see the working of heart or process of circulation of blood in human body step by step. First step, when muscles of all the four chambers are relaxed, pulmonary vein, see the diagram for location, brings the oxygenated blood from lungs into left atrium. Next, as blood enters inside left atrium, it contracts and the oxygenated blood is pushed into the left ventricle through the valve V1. In the animation, you can see how blood enters from atrium to ventricles through contraction. Next, now when left ventricle contracts, the oxygenated blood is forced into the main artery or aorta. The main artery or aorta carries blood to all organs of the body except lungs. Observe the diagram. Next, from aorta, blood enters into smaller arteries or arterioles and then finally into capillaries. When the oxygenated blood passes through the capillaries of the body organs, then it gives oxygen to the body cells. Blood loses oxygen and gains carbon dioxide. Hence, here it gets deoxygenated. Observe the diagram how exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs within the body cells and capillaries. Next, now capillaries unite to form small venules which unite to form main vein or vena cava. The deoxygenated blood from the body organs except lungs enters vena cava. From there, it enters right atrium of the heart. Observe the diagram. Blood enters from both vena cava, that is from two sides, into right atrium. When the right atrium contracts, deoxygenated blood is pushed in the right ventricle through the valve V2 as seen in animation. When the right ventricle contracts, deoxygenated blood is pumped into the lungs through pulmonary artery. For location of pulmonary artery, observe the diagram. In lungs, deoxygenated blood gets purified by absorbing fresh oxygen from air. This oxygenated blood again enters left atrium by pulmonary vein, and this cycle continues. Quick recap. From lungs, oxygenated blood enters pulmonary vein, then it enters left atrium, then left ventricle. From there, aorta takes the blood to body cells. There, exchange occurs and blood gets deoxygenated. Now, deoxygenated blood enters main vein or vena cava. It enters right atrium. Then, it goes to right ventricle, which enters lungs through pulmonary artery. And after that, the cycle continues again. Memorize this flowchart for easy learning. Double circulation. A circulatory system in which blood travels twice through the heart in one complete cycle of the body is known as double circulation, as we can see in humans. There is a saying called heart acts as a double pump. How? Well, left side of heart acts as one pump which pumps blood into the whole body except lungs. Right side of the heart acts as other pump which pump blood only to lungs. They both are completely separated by a partition called septum. This is necessary to prevent the mixing of oxygenated blood on left side with the deoxygenated blood on the right side. Due to this, we can say that heart acts as double pump. Now, why is this needed? This system makes efficient transport of O2 or oxygen to all body cells, which helps in producing lots of energy. This energy is useful for warm-blooded animals such as aves and mammals who constantly require energy for maintaining body temperature. Coming up next is circulatory system in other animals, lymphatic system in humans, and transport in plants. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comments and suggestions are most welcome. Thank you.